Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers tight end Pat Freiermuth sends 4 message on Week 7 win over Jets. After a tight first half, the Pittsburgh Steelers blew past the New York Jets over the final 2 quarters in Week 7, winning by a score of 37-15. Instrumental in the victory was tight end Pat Freiermuth, who not only had 2 huge receptions but also blocked well for running back Najee Harris throughout the game. The day after the Sunday Night Football win, Freiermuth posted a message on his Instagram story for fans. It read, "On to the next," and also included a photo of his impressive one-handed grab against the Jets. Freiermuth finished second in receiving yards behind star wide receiver George Pickens on Sunday night, with 2 catches for 51 yards. This 1-2 punch followed a common Steelers trend that's occurred throughout the year. On the season, Pickens leads all Pittsburgh pass catchers with 31 receptions for 474 yards. Then, as he was against the Jets, Freiermuth is second with 24 receptions for 245 yards. Third on the list is wide receiver Calvin Austin III. Freiermuth was interviewed by the NBC SNF crew after the game, and he relayed a very cool message from head coach Mike Tomlin to the Steelers players ahead of Week 7. Tomlin said it was an A-player game, Freiermuth revealed, via Steelers Depot. A players need to show up. The whole week he was preaching that, and the cool thing about Coach T is that he doesn't specify Cam, Hayward, TJ, Watt, like he challenges the whole team, the tight end explained. If you believe you are an A player, go show it on the biggest stage. After another solid performance, Freiermuth can certainly identify as an A player on October 21st. The tight end has been a huge part of the offensive system that the Steelers are trying to win behind under Arthur Smith. That's part of why Pittsburgh handed the former second-round talent a 4-year, $48.4 million extension on September 6. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette beat reporter Ray Fittipaldo graded each position group after the Week 7 victory over the Jets, and the receivers and tight ends earned a B+ in his eyes. George Pickens was the biggest beneficiary of the change at quarterback, he wrote on October 20. After being nearly invisible in some games when Justin Fields was the quarterback, Pickens had 5 catches for 111 yards and scored his first touchdown of the season. Fittipaldo also noted that wide receiver Van Jefferson scored his first touchdown of the season, and 6 pass catchers had at least 1 catch of 10 yards or more, including a 36-yarder to Calvin Austin and a 30-yarder to tight end Pat Freiermuth. Who says the Steelers need to trade for a receiver? The reporter quipped to close out the section. It was an impressive showing from Russell Wilson and the Steelers' offense, but it may be wise for Pittsburgh to remain proactive. The Jets' secondary was short several starting defensive backs during the second half of Sunday's victory, and the Steelers' offense is a long way from perfect. Perhaps Wilson can continue to elevate this group of pass catchers better than Fields could, and perhaps the best is yet to come as the veteran QB develops more and more chemistry with his playmakers, but in the NFL it's usually smart to add extra talent and depth whenever you're in pursuit of a Super Bowl. Injuries occur often. Things change week to week. And once the trade deadline passes, you're largely stuck with what you've got. Sierra sends message on QB Russell Wilson after his stellar Steelers debut. Quarterback Russell Wilson didn't seem to have many fans entering his debut with the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 7. But he always has support from home. After Wilson led the Steelers to a 37-15 victory against the New York Jets, his wife, Sierra, voiced her support of Wilson publicly on social media. Sierra posted 2 photos of her and the couple's children dressed in Steelers attire for the game. Sierra posted a 3rd photo of Wilson high-fiving Steelers fans after the win as well. As a caption, Sierra wrote, "Daddy's #1 fans. Family and football." Wilson's 264 passing yards in Pittsburgh's 22-point victory was the most ever for a quarterback making his debut with the Steelers. Wilson threw for that yardage while completing 16 of 29 attempts for an average of 9.1 yards per pass. Pundits and many Steelers fans were concerned that losing the running ability of Justin Fields was going to stall Pittsburgh's offense. Wilson replaced Fields in the starting lineup versus the Jets. While Wilson wasn't able to take advantage of some running lanes that Fields probably would have, Wilson did more through the air. He had 7 completions of at least 15 yards versus the Jets. Steelers' top wide receiver George Pickens had his most impactful performance of the season, as he hauled in 5 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown. Pickens also drew a 29-yard pass interference penalty. With the emergence of the deep threat, running lanes also opened up for Najee Harris. He ran for 100-plus rushing yards for the second consecutive week. The only other time in the NFL when Harris gained 100 yards on the ground in back-to-back games was over the final 2 regular season contests last season. Finally, the 37 points the Steelers scored were their most in a game since Week 11 of the 2021 season. At that time, Ben Roethlisberger was Pittsburgh's quarterback. October 20th was a great night for Wilson. But it didn't begin that way. He only completed 2 of his first 8 attempts, and the Steelers fell behind 15-6 in the first half. The Pittsburgh home crowd at Acrisure Stadium grew quite restless during that stretch. Some fans booed when the Steelers had to punt, and there were rumblings of Fields' chants. During his post-game press conference, Wilson addressed how he was able to overcome that negative energy. "I really believe in being neutral," Wilson told reporters. "Not being too high, not being too low. My old mental coach who passed away a couple years ago used to always say, stay the course. Coming into this game, we had a couple of things early we could have had. I felt like it was playoff baseball. I set out there, in the sense of, I started off 0-4-2. But it felt like I was going to get hot. I kept telling coach, hey, I'm going to get hot here. Sure enough, we did." Steelers undrafted rookie cornerback Beanie Bishop Jr. sent the home crowd into a frenzy when he intercepted Aaron Rodgers just before halftime. Wilson turned the opportunity into a touchdown to bring the Steelers within 2 points at halftime. There was then no booing from Steelers fans in the second half, as the team outscored the Jets 24-0 after halftime. Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback goes down with shoulder injury. Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback Dante Jackson is dealing with an AC joint sprain after the team's game against the New York Jets. Jackson left in the first half after trying to make a tackle on Jets running back Breece Hall and did not return. James Pierre replaced Jackson, and slot cornerback Beanie Bishop stepped up, nabbing 2 interceptions. According to sources, Jackson's AC joint sprain is not new. He first suffered the injury against the Los Angeles Chargers. He has been in and out of games at times, but the team opted to be cautious on Sunday. He has a chance to play against the New York Giants, though the team could choose to rest him and let the injury heal through the bye week. If Jackson could not play, either Corey Trice or Pierre would take his place. Sources told Penn Live that Trice is on injured reserve and has missed the last 4 weeks with a hamstring injury, but he is ready to return to the field if necessary. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Dante Jackson? Leave your opinion in the comments.